Anyone who watches dead people knows that. You're buried before you're dead. How terrible the consequences are. And my grandfather's still breathing. The family made hasty burial arrangements, just because grandpa said it before he died. The feet are bound with twine before burial. Unbreakable. The coffin is to be buried upright. Put your head down. Dig down 5 meters before they can be buried. As soon as the words came out, the whole family was in shock, because it's in folklore. I tied my feet with twine, but I couldn't untie them. Not finding your way around when you're dead. There's no way to get to death's door. You're supposed to be a ghost. Head down and you're going through 18 hell. Never to be born again. 3 more generations to come. Be an ox and a horse in the next life. Dad, what are you? Second uncle cried out in a hurry, but grandpa stopped drinking. Don't say anything. Do as I say. Wait for the first 7, and dig me up and rebury me. This time, we need to make it as big as possible. Uncle and dad don't understand. Why would grandpa do that? But he agreed. Grandpa turned and told me, if all goes well in 7 days, from now on you will have food and clothing. Make it big. If anything goes wrong in between. He reached over the edge of the pillow, took a package. Leave to me. Then you get out of here. Go somewhere. There at. I arranged a marriage for you. You go be the living son-in-law. My dad was furious. Dust Son is our Lugia 9 generation single biography. How did you get him to break in? You don't know shit. If something were to happen, the door is open. 100 ghosts take their lives. He won't even make it past 15. Life as a son-in-law. It's better than losing your life. I was 14 years old. I have no idea what a living son-in-law is. All I know is that my grandfather, who loved me the most, is dying. Crying all the time. Grandpa comforted me not to cry. Let me open the package. He'll open the cloth bag. Inside is half a piece of jade, an old, somewhat yellowed book, a bronze mirror that looks rusty. You do it in these 3 ways. I guarantee you a very rich future. First, take this jade piece. Go somewhere. Find the one who can restore it. No matter what she offers, you have to say yes. As to how to get there, you don't have to worry. Your uncle will take you. Words fall grandpa again command. The book. When you're over 14, you can watch it. But remember, no matter how many things you learn inside, when you were 17, you're gonna burn it. Can't stay another day. As for the bronze mirror, you'll be wearing it around your neck from today. When you learn that ancient book, you'll see how much it works for you. I took my grandfather's words to heart. He died as soon as he said it, at his old man's orders. Father and uncle they overnight, in the place grandpa had chosen. Dug a hole. He buried the coffin upright, but once in the ground, things started to get weird. It rained for 3 days and 3 nights. It was raining but not thunder. But on the 4th day, the grave was struck by lightning. Grandpa's coffin was split in 2. He was covered with scales. Her hair has fallen out. Long fingernails grow on both hands. Dad suddenly ran up to me and said, that's what your grandpa meant by an accident. Your grandfather must have occupied a place of dragon vein feng shui, trying to change the lives of posterity. Did not expect. Posterity will not be blessed. I didn't survive the dragon vein. Second uncle panicked instead. Burn that thing right now. Saw 2 uncle pour gasoline. A torch burned the coffin to the ground. Then pick up the remains of grandpa's ashes. There is no burial. It was straight down the mountain. Had a quick one. A lively white affair. All the famous people from all over the country are here. And these people are in debt to grandpa. That's when I learned that grandpa was a famous feng shui master. The funeral was soon over. After uncle let me say goodbye to my parents, he left the village in a hurry. He took me with him, walking through the village paths, for 7 days, and just before my 15th birthday. Only 3 days left. Strange to say, in the 7 days since I left home, every night I just close my eyes. I can feel strange people around me. They were right next to me. I can feel it. I just can't touch it. Lose sight of. That's what grandpa would have told him on his deathbed. All kinds of ghosts are involved. After climbing mountains, uncle took me to a huge lake. He said, pointing to the lake ahead, the place where your grandfather was buried was the dragon head. And this is the tail of the dragon. Then uncle asked me to kneel down. I hit it 3 times. Then he said aloud, report to the dragon king. The Lu family sent their relatives. Soon the water suddenly emerged. A giant coffin floated next to me. Second uncle took a set out of the package. I want you to put on the red groom's clothes. Let me get dressed and lie in my coffin. What uncle said made me very afraid. But uncle said so when we got here. No matter what I see, come across, what happened, we have to do what he says. It's the only way I can live. I just froze. I just did what my uncle said. Jump into the coffin. Lie down. A surname. Remember what your grandfather said before he died. The second uncle said loudly. I reached down and put the lid on the coffin. My eyes immediately went dark. I've been through a lot these past few days, but he's just a kid, lying in a coffin and not knowing where you're going. Uninspiring, shed tears and cried. What do you do after that? But while I was thinking, it's like there's someone else around. The coffin was dark. I could see her face clearly. It must have been a slender woman. He wore a veil over his face, just like me. She wore a red bridal dress. She smells good, but in the meantime, there's still a hint, the smell of the river. Suddenly there was an ethereal sound. Sounds in this weird coffin. My little gentleman, do you want to marry me?